Hello everybody and welcome back to the second shelf and to another Books Weekly, my Sunday video in which I discuss books that I've either finished from a previous week or read last week or started last week. And the first book is the book that I finished from the previous week, and that is Keggie Carew's Dadland. It's a biography about Keggie's father, Tom Carew. Was first published in the UK last year and published in the US in March of this year. As I said in my previous Books Weekly, it's a biography slash memoir. Keggie Carew explores the life of her father, Tom, and she starts that when she is invited to go with him to the 60th anniversary of a special unit, the Jedburghs. That was a special, very secret soldier unit in the Second World War, a collaboration between the British and the US. Keggie Carew knew that her father was a soldier in the war, but she didn't know much about the Jedburghs. So most, or let's say a lot of the novel is a biography, not so much only of her father, but a quite detailed account of what the Jedburghs did when they were dropped behind enemy lines in Burma, almost day-to-day account what happened there. So if you are not, I say that up front, because if you are not interested in this kind of almost military history of a certain special unit, you might be bored by that, because the biography really focuses on those war years. Another part of the biography is much more a memoir than a biography, because Carew started the book when her father was in his early 80s and showing signs of dementia, Alzheimer's. So the Jedburgh's experience is alternating with the modern day, the now, in which Keggie Carew tells us the story from her point of view, how she deals with the growing loss of memory her father experiences. I like the book. It's very well written, and certainly the war years are extremely thoroughly researched. But I think what is a bit, a problem with the book, that it is this hybrid between a memoir and a wartime biography. So people who are not interested in the memoir part will be put off because they are more interested in the history of the Jedburghs. And on the other side, people who want to read a memoir or a biography about a father with Alzheimer's and the impact that dementia has on the relationship with the daughter might think that the Jedburgh pieces are boring. They fit together okay, but it's still a break in the way the book is set up. But still, if you're interested in either of those two topics, or even better, if you're interested in both, then Dadland is certainly a book you would want to try. It, by the way, won the Costa Award last year. I think I mentioned that in my previous video for biography. And to give you maybe a better view on the book, better insight in the book, I will also leave a link down below, an interview with Keggie Carew about the book. The next book I read is a collection of critical essays on an Argentinian writer, Silvina Ocampo, and the book is called New Readings of Silvina Ocampo. You might not be interested in reading critical essays about an author, but if you're not, at least try, if you never heard of her or never read her, Silvina Ocampo. She was a short story writer, born in 1909, I think. She died in 1993. as I said, Argentinian writer, and her short stories are just fantastic. They are dark and twisted and quirky, some fantasy elements thrown in, and she is, in my opinion, a very underrated writer from Argentina, who has yet to be discovered, I think, especially in the English translation. And I loved the essays on her writings, because they are really gave me new insights in her stories and what she was all about. But I like I said, I can understand not everybody is into reading literary critical essays, but you should certainly try out, if you want to read short stories and maybe discover a new author you've never read, then the short story collection, Thus Were Their Faces, it came out in 2015, new translations by Daniel Balderston. It's a collection of her most famous short stories, and it's absolutely worth it if you're interested in reading short stories. The next book is also a book of non-fiction, and that is Donna Freitas, The Happiness Effect, How Social Media Affects a Generation Who Wants to Appear Happy and Perfect at Any Cost. The book just came out in March of 2017. Donna Freitas is a young American author and scholar. She might be known to some of you because she also writes fiction, middle grade and YA fiction, but also non-fiction and more scholarly work. For the book The Happiness Effect, she interviewed over 200 college students all across the United States, from all kinds of backgrounds in all kinds of colleges, and she conducted a survey in writing, and in that survey about 1,000 college students participated. The main focus of that book, and I think it's really interesting because a lot of younger people, I think, struggle with this, is the question how people between, I don't know, late teens, early 20s cope with social media, and especially with the fact that it seems that Facebook and Twitter tend to give a perspective on life that is not quite authentic. People post the happy stuff on Facebook and Twitter, and there seems to be quite some pressure for the users to seem happy or to be happy and perfect and inspiring and upbeat all the time. The book also addresses issues like cyberbullying and the question of how do you deal if you stop using social media. So it's quite a range of topics that the book covers, but the main focus, hence the title, is always the question, how does social media affect younger people in the sense that they all want to appear happy and perfect. So if you are interested in that subject, I think this is really a very interesting book, because it's quite detailed. It gives a detailed account of what the 200 students said in the interviews. So you really get a sense of the people participating in the book, what they feel and what they think. In my opinion, I thought the book could have been a bit more in-depth with regards to the analysis, how to deal with it, and where does that urge to seem happy all the time come from. It's a bit thin on that part, I thought, but still it was extremely interesting to read. It's very well written, And certainly, maybe for you younger viewers, if I have any younger viewers out there who struggle with social media and how to use it, and the pressure you feel, then it is a very interesting and illuminating book to read. I also leave a link for this book where the author gives a talk about social media and relationships. It was in July 2016, so before she published the book, but she already did most of her research, because the research was conducted in 2014 and 2015. So if you're interested but not sure whether you want to read the book, maybe check out her talk from July 2016. And then normally I'll tell you about the book that I've just started, but I haven't decided yet which book to read next. There are two on the top of my list, and the first one is a novel that just came out this month by Keggie Kitamura, A Separation. Keggie Kitamura is a young American writer from Japanese-born parents, or American-Japanese writer, I think you say then. She has published very well received fiction before, so I think Separation is her third book. It's about a failed marriage where the wife, after she agreed to separate from her husband, she learns that her husband has disappeared in Greece and goes to Greece in order to look for him. That's all I know about the book. The book was kindly sent to me by the publisher through NetGalley, and so was also the second book that I'm contemplating on reading, and that is Samanta Schweblin, Fever Dream. Samanta Schweblin is a young Argentinian writer. The book was first published in Argentina in 2014 and has now been translated by Megan McDowell into English and was published in January of this year. It's a book about a woman and a boy in a hospital. It seems to be, what I understood from the blurb and what I read about it, ghostly and quirky and haunting. I don't know much more than that. So I'm conflicted about what to read next. Maybe I will read one of those. Maybe it will be something completely different. But if you have read either Separation or Fever Dream, let me know which one you think I should choose. And that was all for this Books Weekly. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. As always, leave your comments down below. You know how much I enjoy talking to you in the comments. And I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.